The wedding ring my husband gave me doesn't fit because it was sized for his ex." At the wedding venue, Habim and Harold suddenly appeared. After seeing this, Leonard Matthews quickly took off his wedding ring and explained in a panic that he had been coerced. My 7-year-old son dropped the flower basket and ran over to Hogasiman, acting coquettishly. The big one and the small one left the bride and chased after the other girl. I became a laughingstock. The guests pointed their fingers at me and said I was a mistress who stole someone else's love. Leonard also scolded me, "If you want to blame someone, blame yourself for letting Yashiman know." However, what the father and son did not know was that I had already agreed to implement the Sirena space program. I was only waiting for a week to depart and never see them again. After Leonard left, the guests I warmly invited surrounded me. They commented one after another, "It's useless if you can't even tie up a man. I think you held the wedding just to get the money from the gift. It's really ugly. What bad luck. Spit out all the money." Every word was heartbreaking, but I remained calm and composed. By the time I finished cleaning up the mess and returned home, it was already 3 o'clock in the night. Leonard had been sitting quietly in the chair as if he had been waiting for a long time. He said with a tone of judgment, "You are back?" I did not respond and walked straight into the room, but he grabbed me. My arm hurt. "Did you choose this day on purpose to let Yoshiman know? You did so many bad things 9 years ago, and now you want to repeat the same trick? In fact, we had already held a wedding once before 9 years ago." Leonard pursued me crazily. He waited for me to come and go from get off work every day and brought me a loving breakfast that he made himself. After sending me home, he still stood downstairs staring at my window foolishly. Everyone was envious, and soon I fell in love. After I gave birth to a son, Armand Matthews, Leonard happily took me to the city hall to get a marriage certificate. But Huhanim found out because of me. She went abroad in anger, while Leonard hurriedly chased after her. He waited for a whole day and night at the airport, heartbreaking that day. Everyone watched my wedding alone with cold eyes. After coming back, he looked at me with tears streaming down my face and said with disdain, "We already have a child and the marriage certificate. My life has been completely tied up by you. What does it matter if we have a wedding party or not? If it wasn't your dad who would marry you?" Hearing what he said, I realized that he did not want to marry me willingly. My father saved him and he wanted to repay the kindness of saving his life. But my father was the only family member I had, and that life-saving favor took away his life. Before he died, my father begged him to give me a home. My eyes darkened and I pulled my arm back fiercely, speaking in a calm tone. "I am not Yafanin's dog, and I wouldn't know if she suddenly returned to Arendelle." After that, I went back to my room to sleep. Leonard had never seen me look so indifferent before, and he was somewhat taken aback after all. When he accused me before, I had already burst into tears, and the next morning, when he woke up, he was no longer as angry as he was yesterday. Surprisingly, he made a whole table full of breakfast for me. Enjoying our breakfast, he took out a ring from his hand and gave it to me. "Joanna, although the wedding hasn't been held yet, we still need the ring." After being together for 10 years, Leonard was not even willing to give me a wedding ring. However, I did not take it. Instead, I stared at him and said, "I only want the pair of rings from the wedding the day before yesterday." In an instant, his expression became very ugly. He took off the ring and threw it somewhere unknown at the wedding venue. It was a ring I made myself by staying up the whole night for several days, and it had my name and his name engraved on it. "Just try it on. I asked a ring designer to design it for you. It might look better than yours." He then took the ring and put it on my finger, but he could not put it on no matter how hard he tried. "This is Yusiman's size, right?" Suddenly, his face turned pale.